I would like to acknowledge I'm recording this in the stolen lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I give my respect to the elders of the past who kept culture alive, the elders of the now who are keeping their families safe and strong, and the young ones learning culture to become the elders of the future. This, like every square inch of the continent now called Australia, always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Gather round, people. I'll tell you a story. An 8-year-long story of power and pride. British Lord Vesti and Vincent Lingiari were opposite men on opposite sides. Those are the opening lines from the song From Little Things Big Things Grow by Aboriginal singer-songwriter Carmody and whitefella singer-songwriter Paul Kelly. So let me now, at this moment, wish you all a happy, prosperous, and above all safe Gravy Day. Most Australians, particularly those of us who live in Melbourne, probably know what Gravy Day is. But if you're in the minority who don't, or if you're not Australian, let me explain. Paul Kelly, Australia's most famous folk singer, and perhaps one of our most loved and nationally famous singers, released the song How to Make Gravy in 1996. Like many great works of Australian art, it was a bit of a sleeper. Its fame slowly increasing over time until now is considered part of the canon and a component of Australian culture. In that song, a recently imprisoned man talks to his brother on the 21st of December, hence the date of Gravy Day, lamenting that he will not see his family at Christmas. The title of the song refers to the imprisoned man being the member of the family who traditionally makes the gravy, but he will not be there to do it, and he obviously misses his family. Strange fodder, some might imagine, for a Christmas single, unless you're Paul Kelly. Paul Kelly is known as the champion of the downtrodden. Many works by Indigenous singers, for example, owe the publication and success to Kelly's support. I am thinking here of Treaty by Yothu Yindi, which received Kelly's help with the English language lyrics, and Took the Children Away by Archie Roach, which taught the world that the stolen generation exists, and was supported by Kelly and his band. Kelly also co-wrote From Little Things Big Things Grow with Aboriginal artist Kev Carmody. This song tells a true and inspiring story of the 23rd of August 1966, when the Gurindji, the Aboriginal people who belonged in that place, who lived in that place forever, and the other Aboriginal people who lived there with them, who were all working at Wavell Station, owned by British meat magnate Lord Vesti, which is in the Northern Territory, and who were working without pay. They walked off the job, led by Vincent Lingiari, demanding equal pay with the white station hands doing the same job as them. They risked their jobs and their livelihoods. They risked their families to walk away from slavery and protest. Don't believe anyone who tells you Australia never had slaves. The Gurindji will tell you their truth. They walked away from slavery and sat down the banks of a creek in a place they called Daguragu and refused to move, refused to work until they were guaranteed pay. And then they asked for equal pay with their white co-workers. Eventually the fight became about land rights. They refused to leave the riverbank. They protested for years. They fought. They were threatened. They stood their ground. This has become known as the Wave Hill Walk-Off, an event celebrated annually in Kalkarinji in a festival called Freedom Day. They were offered more pay and refused. They were threatened by the police. They stood their ground. And after years of waiting, the protest segued into getting their land back. It became about land rights. They were not going to move until they got their homelands back. 8 years they sat. 8 long years they resisted. and I couldn't even imagine a labour strike for 8 years. In the end, the Whitlam government brought back a chunk of Wavell Station for the Gurindji people. The Prime Minister Whitlam himself travelled to Daguragu bringing papers, the title to that land. And you might have seen the famous photo taken by Aboriginal photographer Mervyn Street of Gough Whitlam pouring a symbolic handful of sand into the hand of Vincent Lingiari. It was one of the first, and perhaps one of the most important moments in the birth of land rights, and arguably one of the most important moments in Australian history, the time when Gough Whitlam gave back the land to the Gurindji. And it's why many Aboriginal people remember Whitlam fondly. Paul Kelly and Kev Carmody co-wrote the song From Little Things Big Things Grow about the Wavell Walk-Off. It was released by Paul Kelly and the Messengers on their album Carmody in 1991, and by Kev Carmody, with Kelly guesting on his 1993 album Bloodlines. When I was asked to contribute to the book Minds Went Walking, a book of short stories inspired by Paul Kelly's songs, it was the only real choice. I didn't for a moment even consider a different song. I'm about to do a reading from my story, The Seed, from Minds Went Walking, published by Fremantle Press. But first I have something to ask from you. I want to do more videos about Australian history, Indigenous rights and the arts we share. The art that inspires us all. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. And now my piece from The Seed. I am the gardener, or a gardener, or I used to be a gardener. Is someone a gardener when they no longer garden? Are they a worker when they're down tools, when they can no longer work, when they refuse to work, when they are dead? I worry. I fear. It's a niggling, breathless fear. I feel I cannot find my abject body. I stumble close to panic but pull back at the last breathless moment. I cannot quite understand what is going on. It's hard to even think the right words, to think of the right words, or to think of the words to think right. Think, thing, thin, tin. My thoughts are getting thin. And I think my time is thinning too, but that's not the thought that worries me. I don't know what to think. I don't know how to think. I try not thinking. I can't even manage to do that. Therefore I am, I think. I don't know how long I've been stuck within these thoughts and these moments. I don't know how long I've been sitting here. So long it might as well have been forever. There it is. I recall the thought that's been bothering me, even if in its absence. I don't know how long I've been sitting here, alone in my thoughts. I just know it's been a while. A while. White, noise, a long while. I've been sitting here a long while in my thoughts, and my thoughts are running in circles. I stop. Yesterday I thought, or imagined I saw someone else. In a moment, when I opened my eyes to see, there was someone there looking at me. I don't know if they said anything. I didn't hear them. I wasn't listening. Then I stopped looking for a while, and when I looked again, they were gone. I might have imagined them, but I don't think I had that much imagination. I can barely see. I can't be bothered trying. I stop. I think I probably should be dead. It's taking so long. Maybe I can't be bothered dying either. I sleep. Perhaps for the last time, and I'm not sure I have the will to wake. I'm not sure I care. I wake, perhaps for the last time, because I lack the will to sleep again. Something is wrong with my time sense, and I don't know how long I have slept. I just understand that it was longer than was good for me. A child is watching me. All loose-limbed, wrong-angled and bedraggled, staying in that crooked way children inevitably grow out of. They are watching me, their eyes beaming. It's been so long since I tried to talk to someone. I'm not sure I remember how. Hello, I try to say, but a hiss like radio static is all I can hear. The child runs away, their movements flickering like a poor time-lapse or a lagging simulation. I want to move, but I won't. I don't. I think I can't. It's been too long. Been. Two beans. A has been. What has been? I get stuck on homophones for a while, but I have to break 3. I have to think. 2, 1. I'm alone again. Inevitably. I can't. I need to remember. I try to force my mind to shape, but I don't know what shape it should be. Better to sleep. Thank you for listening to the end. And you'll need to buy the book to read the rest of the story. You can buy Minds We're Walking at all good bookshops, and if your local bookshop doesn't carry it, I'm sure they'll be delighted to order it for you. Support your local bookshop. And I write books for a living. You can buy them at bookshops too. If you want them, my novels are called Terra Nullius, The Old Lie and Enclave. And my debut non-fiction book was called Lies, Damn Lies, a personal exploration of the impact of colonisation. You can read more of what I have to say in my published works. Thank you for watching.